Guys, how we doing? I'm Ryan Mack. Welcome back to Trading Guys, and today we are going to be doing the usual as we do every single week, covering fundamentals. So what I'll do is I'll cover the fundamentals as always. We will then jump across to Prime Market Terminal. We will cover what do you call it? Data, and then we will come across to the technicals, and we will cover technical analysis. All right. So as always, get your notebooks out, right across the top, currency strength, strong, weak, and neutral, okay? What are we on now? The 14th is today, so yeah, so that's last week, okay. So let's have a look at what we've got. Now remember, when you're going through this, just go through one at a time, except from China, Aussie, and New Zealand, okay? The reason why we do the three together is because they're all closely correlated. If China is bullish, AUD and NZD will potentially be bullish. If China is bearish, then NZD, AUD will potentially be bearish. It's a very high probability. There are reasons for that. I've covered it in a million videos, guys. It annoys me also saying the same shit video after video after video. Sometimes I do repeat a lot of the important stuff in every single video because trading is just getting yourself into habits. Honestly, it's repetition of the same shit that you know works week after week, okay? You know, if I'm talking about average earnings, it's the same reason it's going up or down this week as it was last week. You know what I mean? So that's why it's very repetitive. It's the same stuff, and you want to make your decision making and your strategy as simple as possible. It's like when I see people with multiple screens and they've got fucking pairs everywhere. For me, that would be distraction. Maybe for some people it's not, but this is the reason why I just have one large screen, so I can sit back, I can look at one pair, and as I go through the pairs, for example, as I go through here, look, you see red, that means I've already marked this at the time to be bearish. It's not bearish anymore, I haven't touched that for ages, okay, but it's just an example. Here, if it's green, that means I'm looking at bullish. If it's blue, that means it's almost near my area to enter a trade, for example. I mean, there you go, look. Yeah, boy, it would be this area here, bosh, and I'd be looking at buys from here, potentially. Obviously, if it just keeps going and it breaks through, then I would be looking for sells. It's dead simple. But if it rejects here, enter here, stop loss behind here, and away you go. All right? That's the way I'd be going about it. So I just mark these up. And where am I? And I just keep it simple. You go through the fundamentals every single week. You find out which economies / currencies are strong, which are weak, which are neutral. You then come across to something along the lines of Prime Market Terminal for data. You can see if the banks are more so in buys or if they're more so in sells. You can look through all different pairs here. Hold on, sorry. You can look through all the different pairs here, all right? And you can select the pair that let's say pound is strong and NZD is weak, then you just simply click on this. Yeah, let's see what we've got. Let's have a look. And you can see an overview. I don't want to hit bloody stop, so wait till I move this. Right, so the ones you don't have to use all of these, right? The reason why there's so many choices up here is because you get all different types of trader, and some people will use this, and this. Some people will use this, and this. You know, everyone's different for their own method. That's why there's so many on here. But you don't have to get bogged down with all the data that this gives you. You don't have to use it all. So it's fairly neutral here. Trend. I don't usually bother with trend. I just do it with my own eyes based on areas of value. I'm just going to show you it here anyway, okay? But I don't look at the trend on this anyway. Seasonality, I do look at. What's this pair? Yeah. So what month are we on? September. September is seasonally buy. So this part here, seasonality, right? It takes data from the last 5, 10, and 15 years, and it tells you consistently over the last 5, 10, and 15 years, the month of September has pretty much always been buys. It's never been sells. Okay, so that's quite a big thing to look at. DMX, I don't bother with any of these. Excuse me. DMX is Dumb Money Index. It's basically retail traders. They're always fucking wrong. So they're coming down. So what you want to see when this red here goes up and the green comes down and they're mostly in sales. that's a good thing for you to enter buys, right? Or let me it's a good thing for you to be looking to enter buys. Doesn't mean you have to enter right away, but honestly, when this pink starts flying up and the green starts flying down, that means retailers are like this here, exactly like this here, right? But obviously the opposite way, pink up, green down. It means that retailers are mostly going into sales, okay? And you want to be doing the opposite to retailers, because they're always fucking wrong. And if you look at the banks here, the banks, open positions, long change. The banks are mostly in buys, okay? But if you come across the GJ, for example, let's just have a look. You might not want to see. Look, so you come at this. You can't enter this, right? You couldn't enter a buy right now because there's no value to buy it now. Might this just start shooting up to here? Absolutely. It may very well do that. All right. But you can't enter a buy here because there's no value. So you need to wait for a pullback. Now, what you might get is small candle, large engulfing, break away, breaks to the top. It hasn't quite thinged it yet, but what I'd be looking for is, you're looking for here. Like, see how it's broke away here and it's came back down, it's retested this zone. See it? Boom, retested, and away it goes. So you're looking for bish, bash, bosh, boom. Or you're looking for this. Straight from here, straight down, retest, boom, boom, boom. Right, you're looking for any of those kind of setups. But you need a pullback because there's no value to buy from here, right? There's no value. And if that just starts shooting off for whatever reason, which I don't think it will, but anything can happen in the markets, right? If that just starts shooting off, don't chase it. Don't think, oh, fuck, I'm missing out and get FOMO and jump into trade. If that candle starts flying next week, don't chase it. Wait for the pullback. Wait for it to come up. All candles retrace. All markets retrace. Come back for a pullback, boom, and away you go. Look, this retraced 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times it retraced before it took off, right? Look, bang in the zone. Small candle, large engulfing, market up, boom, away it goes. So, yeah, just wait for that. Now, let's carry on with the fundamentals, guys, okay? So, what do we have last week? Wait, I'll make this larger, actually, for you. Sometimes it's small, isn't it? Yeah, display. 1 second. Okay, so that should be larger. Hopefully you can see that. Trade balance. Well, it's actually increased. So see how it's red here? Don't just look at the colour of something, right, and be like, oh, that's red. That must mean bearish. No, I mean, it's came in less than expected, so it's not as strong as what China thought. However, it has came in far more than it was previously. At 733, it was previously 705, okay? Bullish, manufacturing, NZD, bearish, bullish, CPI, bearish, bullish, bullish, and same. So the reason why are new loans bullish? Because if you're giving out more money to people, it means people are going to spend more money. They're going to go out and buy a new car, buy a new home, buy a new boat, just buy tons of shit, and that stimulates the economy. So that's why people see things like new loans as a good thing, right? Going out and buying new jet skis and all that kind of stuff. Let's look at next week. It's pretty shit data, to be honest. There's nothing really exciting there. Next week, what we got? Now, when you look at the week ahead like this, next week, of course, there's no data here. What you're doing is you're seeing if there's anything important that we want to look at, like CPI, PMI, PPI, and so on. All right. So we've got unemployment change, which is important. Employment change, unemployment rate, credit card spending. That's actually a good one, because if people are spending more on their credit cards, then that's a positive for the economy, because it's going to stimulate the economy. Unemployment rate. Sorry, I've got a bloody itchy nose. Retail sales. Yeah, so there's a few things that we want to see next week, but nothing too crazy. AUD is actually still strong at the moment in the short term, right? Long term, I think AUD's pretty fucked. But in the short term right now, AUD is still quite strong. The USD is in the hurt locker at the moment. We're not getting this crash. I know you'll see people talking about, oh, we're going to get a crash. You will get a crash eventually, but it's not going to be yet. I'll tell you, it's going to keep fucking rising. AUD is currently strong. USD isn't that strong at the moment. There's still too much, what's the word I'm looking for? Uncertainty, right? There's still too much uncertainty. There's no fucking tariffs that have been done deal yet and any of this kind of bollocks. So AUD, for me, is still strong. NZD, it's quite bearish. I've had it in neutral for a while, but I'm going to put it in weak because it's bearish. NZD, especially for this week in the short term, right? And China, of course, we don't actually trade the Chinese currency. So now we're going to move on. It's always faster when you move down into the single currencies. What was that last week? Building. So OPEC, why are OPEC meetings important? They're important for Canadian dollar because Canadian dollar is very closely pegged to oil. So if oil's doing well, Canadian dollar will do well. If oil's doing shit, Canadian dollar will do shit. All right. Let's have a look. Meets the 10 representatives. 12 countries. Okay, it isn't giving us results. The 8 OPEC countries have agreed a further rise excuse me, in oil output in October. This is in view of the steady global economic outlook. Uncertainty loomed over what Saudi, Russia, and 6 other key members of OPEC Plus alliance would decide. See, so yeah, there's nothing really exciting there. Next week we've quite a big week. I'm going to sneeze again. We've got quite a big week for Canadian dollar. CPI year on year trimmed. Blah 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 blah. It's expected to come in the same. So let's see how it comes in. All right, overnight rate. Yeah, they are looking to potentially cut rates. Okay, now people get this confused because you need a lot of context, right? See, when it says here they're looking to cut rates, many people say, oh, if they're going to cut rates, that's bearish, right? Well, it's not always, because look, they're already forecasted that they're going to cut rates. So if it comes in here on Wednesday that they do cut rates and it actually drops down to 2.50, you might not see any bearish reaction there. You might even see a little bit of bullish, right? And people get confused. Why is that? I thought rate cuts were bearish. Well, in general, they are bearish. However, it's already expected, so it's not a shock to the market, right? It's not like, oh shit, where did that come from? It's already expected. If it comes in at 2.75 and there's no rate cut, you'll probably find that it's bullish. It will start flying bullish because it was unexpected. If this comes in at 2.50, the market probably won't even move because they've already anticipated it and they've already priced it in, last month or 8 weeks ago or whatever, because they're trading in advance, right? They're trading in anticipation of the move. Now, if it comes in even less at 2.25 or 2% in total, then you probably get a big fucking melt because that's like, oh shit, we weren't expecting that. And then you get a bearish reaction, okay? So there's a lot of context that you need in terms of, if it's a rate cut, it's bearish. Well, not always, because it's already expected, okay? Core retail sales, month-on-month retail sales, blah, blah, blah. All right, so CAD for me is still shit. CAD is still weak, okay? Moving on. When you're only doing one pair, it gets faster. CHF, I don't even bother checking anymore, as you know. Reason being, the data pretty much never changes. It's always the same boring shit. And you don't really trade CHF based on fundamental data. You trade it based on market sentiment, if it's risk on or risk off. If it's risk off, then you're looking to buy CHF pairs against as long as it's against the weaker economy. If it's risk on, you're looking to sell CHF, okay? Against a stronger economy, of course. What we on here? What pair is this? A euro, okay. German industrial production. So when it comes to euro, we really care about France and Germany. Of course, we look at Italy and Spain, but the ones that we really care about is France and Germany, okay? Because they have the largest economies, and they're the ones that really make it go up or down, essentially, in very layman's terms, okay? If we have Italian, yes, we have a look at it, or Spanish, we don't ignore it, but it's France and Germany that we care about the most, all right? 1.3%, okay, bullish. bearish, but it's still a surplus, so that's still good. Bearish, bearish, bullish. That's still stagnant, that's still strong, so bullish. That's a good rate, 2.15. Sticky, bullish, bullish. Unemployment rate, bearish. Okay. So this is mixed data. Overall, the Eurozone is still fairly strong, alright? It's still very robust. What we got here? Current account. CPI, we've got CPI next week, next Wednesday for Euro, so we'll look at that. But for now, I still have Euro and strong. I'm not changing it to neutral or anything just because it's got one pretty weak week. It's still strong. It's still a powerhouse at the moment. Okay. Now moving on. Pound. I would say Euro is a kind of weak bullish, right? And I'd probably say Pound is a kind of weak bullish at the moment. It's still bullish, but it's a weak bullish, right? It's not a powerhouse as such. I know I just said that there. Sorry, it's a kind of weak bullish. PSC retail sales, very bullish. House price balance, bearish. GDP, it's dropped. However, it was anticipated, right? And it's a month-on-month, so that's okay. So that's in line with expectations. It's dropped, but it's in line with expectations. Okay, so it doesn't really have a negative effect as such. Construction output is bullish. It has dropped slightly, but it came in far better than expected. So it's showing some resilience, some strength. Okay, some stability and growth. Goods trades balance, negative, bearish, bullish, bearish, bearish, bullish, bearish. Okay, so it's mixed data, you know, that's all it is. Next week we've got claimant count change. We want to see that average earnings. Yep, we want to see that unemployment rate. Yep, CPI, RPI, HPI. We've got a lot of big news that we want to see next week for the pound. Okay, so for me, pound is still strong. It's excuse me, it's still in the category of kind of weak bullish. All right, moving on, we've got two more currencies, guys: Japanese yen and USD, and then we'll crack on with the technical side of stuff. Right, we'll look at some data and we'll look at the technical side of stuff. I'll show you how to use this in line with choosing your trades. Okay. What is this? Why is that doing there? Okay, sorry. Japan bank lending year on year has increased. Now, why is bank lending a positive? Well, if the bank lends out more money, it means people are buying more shit, right? If the bank's lending out, if the bank's lending out more money, people are going to spend it. And when they spend it, that stimulates the economy, okay? And that's why it's seen as bullish. Bank lending year on year has increased. Current account is still in a surplus, but it's decreased, so that's not good. Final GDP is sticky, so that's okay. It's showing resilience. It's not showing strength or weakness, but it's showing resilience, right? Final GDP quarter-on-quarter has increased, so that's good. Economy watcher sentiment, it's increasing, but it's still bearish because it's 46.7. Anything below 50 is bearish. Above 50 is bullish, okay? Money stock year on year, 1.3%. Prelim machine tool orders is fantastic. That's great. So it's quite bullish news. PSM factory, bullish. Bullish. It's getting better. So that's some quite strong data this week, right? Now, when you see that, it doesn't just mean, wow, fucking the Japanese yen is a powerhouse. Absolutely not. It's fighting back and it's shown quite promising results, but you have to remember, every week it's wishy-washy. 1 week it's weak, the next week it's strong, the next week it's weak. You know, it's still a bit wishy-washy. However, on a positive note, it is slowly but surely crawling its way back out of the pit, okay? It's doing all right in the short term. It's still on shaky ground, okay? So don't get excited. Next week, we don't really have much data that we care about. National core CPI. Yeah, we'll have a look at that. That's going to be important, actually. National core CPI. I don't know why it's yellow. We want to see if the national core CPI is increasing or decreasing, all right? Because that tells you if things are getting better over time in the long run, or things are getting worse. Okay. Monetary policy. No rate changes or anything. Okay. So for me, Japanese yen is still weak. All right. Just because you get some 1 week of good news doesn't mean that it's flying. Absolutely not. It's nice to see, but it's still not quite strong. You might get some small bullishness, but yeah, it's not enough for me to say that it is bullish. All right. USD, bullish, bearish, bearish. No, that doesn't affect it. For oil, that's bearish because there's more supply than there is demand. If it's a minus, that means there's more demand. People are buying more than there is supply, so it drives the price up, i.e. oil would be bullish. But if there's more here, like a surplus, it means there's far more oil than there is demand. So people aren't buying as much, so the price will decrease. Core CPI month on month, it's stable, so that's good news. It's stable. CPI month on month has increased, good. So bullish. Unemployment has increased. That's by a fair bit. It's not good. That's bearish. Bullish. No, sorry, it's national gas. Sorry. Federal budget balance, bearish. Consumer sentiment, bearish. Preliminary inflation expectations, sticky. Okay. Next week, we've got core retail sales month on month, retail sales, import prices. We get anything else we want to see? They're looking to cut rates by 25 basis points. They're cutting into. Yeah, it's because the jobs. The reason for this is probably because of things like the unemployment is going sky high, so they need to cut rates. Even though there's a lot of other things going up, they need to cut rates. Otherwise, they're going to be in a hot locker. Unemployment claims, we want to see that. Hopefully that comes down. Philly Fed manufacturing, we want to see that. That's pretty much all that we really care about. Empire State manufacturing, yeah, we want to see that. So for me, I'm actually keeping USD in neutral for now. You could argue that in the short term, right now, it's going to show like kind of bearish to weak bearish, all right? It's why I like USD CAD. Both of them are bearish, so they're not really moving. Okay, so before I cover the next part here, just to run through this, I've got strong AUD, Euro, and Pound. Okay, strong Aussie, strong Euro, strong Pound. Weak New Zealand, Canadian dollar, and Japanese yen. Neutral, I've got USD. Okay, you could put that in weak for this week if you wanted, but I've just kept it in neutral, all right, because it is still kind of up there. Now, moving on. So, what I would do, right, this is my process now. See, now that I know which currencies / economies are strong, which ones are weak, I would just ignore the USD, and I'd be like, okay, Aussie NZD, I'd be looking at potentially buys, right? Or if it's NZD AUD, I'd be looking at sells, right? So let's just have a look here and see what we've got. Let me move this out of the bloody way. It's driving me nuts. Excuse me. Aussie NZD, okay, so be looking for buys in this potentially, okay? Now what I would do is, I'd come across here, just because you're looking for buys in it, doesn't mean you would buy it right now, okay? And I'll show you. Overview, let's see. Come on. Hurry the fuck up. Let's try it again. The overview is fairly neutral, as you can see here. I don't know why it's not letting me scroll up. Oh, because I've zoomed in. That's why, sorry. Seasonality, let's have a look. We are on September. September is buys. There you go. What did I just say? DMX. We want to see them and look. So retail traders are in a huge amount of fucking sells. Look, this is the amount they're in buys. This is the amount they're in sells. If we look down here, it says 76.9% of all traders lose money with this provider. So whoever this website is getting their data from about retail traders, 76.9% lose their money. Okay, DXM are in massive sales. Now, when we come across here to COT, excuse me, COT means commitment of traders. It's a set in layman's terms. It's the banks and big institutions, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, blah blah blah. Okay, hedge funds and all this. So let's have a look. We want to see them in buys because retailers are the banks. What do they call it? Liquidity. Mostly in buys. It's about 50-50 here, but you will see it is increasing. Total positions, look, right here, has increased. They have increased their buys. Long, they've increased it by 4,900. Now let's come across and look at the charts for AUD NZD. Well, the hell away, don't tell me I don't have it. It's usually a shit pair, so I don't trade it. Let's see if I've got it down here. AUD, if I don't, I'll just pull it. Oh, in fact, it's even better that I don't, because then you know that I haven't pre-looked at this, right? Let me just find add all AUD NZD. Okay, let me just check this. Have we got this? Where is it? Where are we? Hold on, where is AUD NZD? Where the hell is it? It's kind of shown as if I already have it. Where is it? AUD NZD. Ah, here we go. Right, here it's here. There we go. Look, so we're looking for buys. Now, you cannot buy it here, right? Just because we've looked at all this, we're looking for buys, you can't buy it here. But what I'd be looking at, right, is this is on the weekly time frame, okay, because I'm a swing trader. You can use the same method on the hourly time frame, the 15-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour, whatever, daily, it works, right? So what I'd be looking at here is a small candle, large engulfing. I would be looking at potentially this, or this here. You want to bring it across, right? So there's these two potentials. Now, you would not in a million years be entering a buy right now. There's no value, right? It could actually come down here as well, so I'm going to mark that up. It's highly unlikely, but I'm going to mark it up. Maybe that's a good area, actually. But let's have a look at the fib. Here we are on this, roughly between the 618, right? So that's a good area of value. The 786 is also a good area of value. 382, not so much, but what you'll see happen is we want to wait for this. You want it to break up, reject, come back down, either retest here and go, right? Or, wait, I'm going to get rid of that. Or you want it to break up, boom, reject, come straight back down, retest and reject here at this white candle here, an area of volume which has now been broken. Once the area of volume then gets broken, it comes back for the retest and away it goes. Or it could even go like this, boom, 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 bang, in here, and away it goes, right? So your entries for me are here, or my entries like down here or down here, okay? That's how you'd be looking at it. So even though you're looking for buys, you can't buy it yet until, you know, it at least breaks away. It might even just do that, and it might just keep going, all right? It can do that. So you need to be prepared for multiple options. But this, essentially, is how I would select the trade, right? That's it. What else we got? Euro Japanese yen. Let's have a look. I think it's kind of, there's not a lot of value in Euro Japanese yen yet, so you need to wait for a pullback. But let's see. Yeah, see, look. So what I'm waiting for is this. I've already got marked up. Break, reject here, come back, retest here, reject. I would enter here and go. Now, it may also, like you've got this area here, If, it becomes a super powerhouse, which I don't think it will, because it's not that strong in comparison, it might just go like this, bish, bash, bosh, right? And then you would enter here. The break and retest, you enter on the retest, okay? Stop loss would go behind here. And that's how I would plan it out. All right. So let's just have a look here at the smart bias for all pairs. Let's see what we've got here. So I've got USD as neutral, and I did say it could be potentially bearish just now, which they've got here as bearish. Euro, I have got as bullish. They've got it here as weak bullish. I did actually discuss that as well. GBP, weak bullish. CAD, bearish. Yep, I've got it in weak. AUD, bullish. Yep. NZD, neutral. I've got it in weak. Japanese yen, weak bearish. I've got it in weak. Even though it had good data, remember? They've got it down here as weak bearish. CHF, weak bearish. I actually didn't mark down CHF, my bad. I normally trade that based on risk on and risk off sentiment, okay? But that is how I would do it. What time on? 31 minutes, okay. Let me just run through very quickly the technical analysis side, and I'll just see if there's any trades for me. Now, please remember, look, perfect. Small candle, and I already gave this to the lads. Look, break away, come back, retest. So I am now simply waiting for this. Boom, boom. I'm waiting for this retest, and boom, boom. That will be my entry. Boom, boom, boom. Okay? That's going to be my entry on this retest. I've already given it in the group, so I can get rid of this because it's already not going that direction. Yeah, that's all we're waiting for the retest, and away we go. There's nothing there, that's shit. Let me just make that bullish. There's nothing there, shit. AUD Japanese yen, nothing there yet. Look, you can see the break, retest, and go, but it's still shit, right? Because there's just not enough value. It's not worth it. AUD USD for now. Look, if it comes to here, I'm going to be looking to sell that, because what you'll find is you'll get, this is the weekly time frame, remember, right? So you get 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week, 5 week, 6 week, boom, and it will start going. So in 6 weeks' time, the USD could be a powerhouse, and it could start melting, and you normally find that it potentially will from this area. Now, if all shit hits the fan and it starts fucking plummeting, then all you'll find is it will break above, retest here, and it will start to go long, and I will just hold that long, for as long as it can. Sorry, AUD USD, and potentially. So, like AUD USD, you'd be looking for buys just now, right? However, I'm really looking for sales in this when it gets to this zone and gets to this zone. So I'm going to change this to red so that I know that it sells. Now, it's a little bit of, what do you call it? Oxymoronic here, because I know that right now that's buys. But in my mind, in the grand scheme of things, I know that I'm really looking for sales once the AUD gets weaker, which it can, because overall they're in pretty shit state, and the USD then gets stronger. And you normally find that when it gets to these zones of value, there will be news out of nowhere that then makes it fucking start plummeting, right? Absolutely melting. And that's really what we're waiting for. Euro AUD, yeah, it's still shitty, so I'm going to see what we get. I would take buys. If it comes down and retest this one here, I would take buys, just not yet. EuroCAD is 1,000,000% buys. You just can't buy from here because it's in no area of value. You need a pullback before you can enter it, okay? So I just ignore. Euro CHF, totally dog shit, ignore. Euro Japanese yen, it's buys, but you need a pullback. You can't enter a buy from here. You either need a pullback, enter here and go, or you need it to break, retest, enter here, and then away you go, okay? So you need to wait for that. This is a weekly time frame. That could be another 3 weeks, Euro NZD, 1,000,000% buys, but you need it to retest this zone first, and then it goes. Euro USD, it's a tricky one. I would say it's still buys for now, but I need a retest first. Either retest this area here, or even better still, retest here, and then away it goes. I wouldn't be entering sales until it kind of breaks away here, comes back, and then goes. GBP AUD. Yeah, I wouldn't be entering sales. I'd be looking for buys, but you do need a good retest. Nothing yet. GBP CAD, nothing yet. Well, I mean, I wouldn't even trade pound AUD. Why? Because both of them are strong. You're looking to trade a strong against a weak. If two are strong or two are weak, then I don't trade it, because then you get this bullshit right here. Look, just trend. Nothing there, nothing here. It would be buys, but you can't buy from here. There's no value. You need a pullback and away it go, or it has to break away, come back, retest, and go. It's just the same stuff. Nothing there yet. Nothing there yet. It would be buys, but you just can't buy it yet. You need that retest. Here is okay. I'd prefer a retest here, to be honest, and then go. Look, fuck all here. Dog shit. Nothing here. Nothing here yet. I know it's fucking brutal, isn't it? Markets, look, markets are just wank right now, guys. I would be looking to sell this, but I'd just be waiting for it to come back up, maybe retest this zone up here, and then melt. All right. I wouldn't be entering buys. USD CAD. Both are shit, you know. I mean, let's have a look. I think both are weak. USD is bearish, CAD is bearish, so it's a week on week. Do you know what I mean? It's shit. You need to see, and it has to break above and go. The reason why I wouldn't be entering buys here is because you've got this, look, you've got an area of value to sell from, so I would not be entering buys into this. It needs to break above, retest, and go, and I would 100%, if I'd done this, boom, 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 I would 100% be entering it for buys, okay? Yeah, I wouldn't be even really entertaining sales, because even though the USD's in the hurt locker just now slightly, it blows the Canadian dollar out the water, alright? Again, I wouldn't be, this would be buys, but I wouldn't be buying from here, pretty shit. Oil. Oil for me is 1,000,000% bearish, but you can't enter sales from here, because there's no value to sell it from. What you need is, see a small candle here. What you need is, hold on. Boom. What I want to see is bish, bash, bosh, enter a sell, and away you go. Right? So I'd be looking for that. Gold. Definitely buys. You need a pullback. Silver. Definitely buys. You need a pullback. Copper. Buys. You cannot buy from here at all. You need a pullback to minimum here. Alright? Minimum here. Indices. Buys at the moment. I'm actually in one. Buys again. I mean, this isn't a real trade. This is whenever I'm trying something new, a different strategy or a different, okay, I'm going to enter on smaller time frame, blah, blah, blah. I always just practice it on this one, because I trade I trade PAM accounts, so it's other people's funds. And whenever you're trying something new, you don't want to be trying that with other people's fucking funds, right? You want to just stick to what you know when you're trading other people's funds. And trying something new, just jump in here, and you can see the results are quite good so far. Just going to let that run. Yeah. So that is it, guys. Alright. As you can see, there's fuck all yet to trade for my method. If you are on the 30-minute time frame, the 1 hour time frame, whatever, and you want to trade something, absolutely crack on. There will be plenty of trades there, you know, on a daily basis. But I don't bother with that. I like to wait, enter a trade like this, you know, when it hits my area, like this, enter a trade, like this, sorry, not like this, I wait for it to go away and come back, like this, enter a trade, and away it goes, right? I just like to do that, so I can just leave it for weeks and weeks and weeks, alright? But yeah, that is it, guys. I'm going to crack on, because I am starving, my mouth is bloody watering. I hope you find this useful, and if you would like any mentorship, please feel free to jump across to the trading guys. I believe the link is down below. If not, reach out to us on either Discord or reach out to us on Instagram and stuff. It's the trading guys. Where are we? This is our trading chat where we give guys the trades. Look, here's guys with profit here. There we go. Where are we? There's tons here, right? There's tons here. If we look at trade results, you can see all of our guys' trading results here. Alright, look, there's tons of it. Absolutely tons. Okay, guys. So, I hope that was useful. I'm Ryan Mack. Thank you for watching the trading, guys. Have a great week. Don't overtrade. Don't over risk. Stick to your fucking rules. Don't get FOMO. Just be patient. All right. See you soon.